Okay, so today we got to discuss the topic is Kalachakra, and it is the cosmic wheel of time, is what we need to understand even where the light is currently and where the consciousness and awareness has to be shifting. And that is why the main focus of today will not only be on the Kalachakra, but I will also understand the light harmonic. Because if you do not understand, if you want to understand the instrument and the instruction manual which is there for those who are uninitiated, then you need to understand that our ancients and the wisdom of them was always encoded in sacred geometry, numerology, geomancy, because everything that they left behind was not in written form, but it was in terms of codes that anybody who was initiated once would be able to pick those codes and will be able to proceed further at the speed of light. Why I say the speed of light? Because we are going to talk a lot about time, but time itself, if you understand, time is not a measure, but it is the illumination which is there in our life. Because that's the foundation of the basics of Kalachakra as well. So for which we'll have to even understand numbers. We also have to understand the portals which are there on our body, so that we would be able to open those portals. And if you open those portals, then we have the entire universe at our disposal, because the universe are also portals. Okay, is everybody able to hear me out clearly? Because there is one of the participants who said no sound. Okay, so that means I'm good. If there is any of such things, please comment in the chat box and I will pay attention. All right. So let us start with the process of understanding Shri Rudram. And then we will gradually go into understanding the portals, the numerology, and the sacred geometry, and then to this whole complex thing, what everybody says, it is the Kala Chakra. Even the Buddhist Tantra also is based on this system of Kala Chakra. And it is very well preserved there. And you will see how this complex mandala that they create in the Buddhist traditions, it is made of 722 deities. Everything is a mathematical equation. We live because we are all made of frequencies, vibrations. And if we resonate, then we are in sync and in harmonious relationship with the universe. And that is what we call as Jyotisha. Everything is a play. So when we go into this invocation from Yajurveda, which we call as Shri Rudram, which is an invocation to Lord Rudra, Lord Shiva. There you will find that the Shri Rudram is made from two main components which ties them together, which is called as Namakam and Chamakum. The word Namakam comes from Namaha, which means I bow down to, I prostrate, my salutations. So Namakam is a lot of Namaha, Namaha, Namaha that keeps coming in the invocation. And the second part is what is called as Chamakum, where you will hear this word Chame, 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 Chame. Chame means to me or with me. So when we understand the brilliance of Shri Rudram, that's when we can go into the Kalachakra Tantra and we can understand the light that is there. What we call the light which is there, we call it prana. It's the light is a life force energy which is there in terms of prana. The Chinese call it the chi. So Shri Rudram is Namakam plus Chamakam. That itself is called Shri Rudram. But there are many variations to this modulation based on numerology. So let me clarify that for you people. So if you do the Namakam plus one Chamakam, it is called as Shri Rudram. However, if I do Namakam 11 times, follow it with a Chamakam once, that whole process is called as Ekadasha Rudram. Ekadasha means 11. Now the next is when I do the Namakam 121 times, which means it is 11 to the power 2 plus 11 times Chamakam. This formulation of recitation is termed as Laghu Rudram. The next, when I do Namakam 11 to the power 3, which is 1331 times, and Chamakam when I do it 11 to the power 2, 121 times, this is called as Maharudram. When I do the Namakam 11 to the power 4 times, which is 14641, and when I do the Chamakam 11 to the power 3 times, which is 1331, this is called as Atirudram. And when we do an invocation and prayer to any deity, we ask for multiple things. God, give me this. Bhagwan, Allah, Jesus, please grant me this. How many benedictions can you ask for? But in Chamakum, each Chamakum will ask for 347 benedictions. That means you're asking not only for what you need materialistically, but you're asking for food, you're asking for wellness of the entire universe. So there are 347 benedictions in one Chamakam that you're asking for. So imagine the power that is going to be created when you have the Atirudram done. See, why Rudram is one of the most important aspects of Yajurveda is because if you understand that in the Vedas, there are only 33 devatas. 33. There is not a single one more or less. If you have to bring that number down, 33, you can bring it down to only 3 when you divide it by 11. So 11 is a number which is associated with Rudra because the mathematical operation of division is Rudram. The mathematical operation of subtraction, you want to remove something from something, then the Devata is Lord Ganapati. That's why he's said to remove the obstacles in our path. He is going to remove anything that is not wanted or needed for you. So he is the mathematical operation of subtraction. Separation is also a slip of the tongue, but that is also good because you want to separate from those entities that are not serving you. The other son of Lord Shiva, his mathematical operation is addition. Who is he? Murugan, Kartikeya, Skanda, Subramanya. That is why you see 6 children were joined together to form a single child with 6 heads. So it is the mathematical operation of addition. You want to add something, go to Muruga, go to Kartikeya, Subramanya. Also remember, this is a yogic code as well, because Ganapati was created by his mother from clay and molded him and infused life into him. So he becomes the lunar component. He is the lunar channel of our body. The lunar currents that flow in our body is Ganapati. And what is Kartikeya? He was created from a fireball that emanated because of the strength of Shiva and Parvati's together's energy emanated into a fireball from which Kartikeya was born. So he is the solar component. He is the solar channel of our body. So in the yogic parlance, Ganapati is the Ida Nadi. Ida is your left nostril is connected to Ida. Your right nostril is connected to the solar component, which is called as Pingala Nadi. And what is the source of multiplication? The source and the operation mathematical multiplication is Lakshmi. That's why she's called as Laksha. Laksha means whatever you give her, she multiplies it by 100,000. Laksha word means 100,000. Lakshmi also means goal or aim in life. So she multiplies. You give her one cell, it's a linear progression that you see that she does. Every cell that you give, that starts fertilizing and it starts multiplying. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 16, 16 becomes 32. So there is a linear progression. That's how we are also created. We have been created from this code of 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4. So if you start looking at that mathematical code, you will see 1, 2, then it becomes 4, then it becomes 8, then it becomes 16. What is 16? 1 plus 6 is 7. Then it becomes 32, which is 5. So if you see this sequence, and 32 becomes 64. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, 64 is again 1. Continue this series, you will see there are 3 numbers which are missing from this. This series will keep continuing with this linear progression. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. The 3 numbers which are missing is 3, 6, and 9. Let's do the same thing with 3. Let's multiply it by 2. 3 becomes 6. 6 becomes 12. What is 12? 1 plus 2 is again 3. 12 becomes 24. 2 plus 4 is again 6. If you see, when you go with this 3, you're only going to go into 3 and 6 numbers. The missing number there is number 9. Are you seeing this? That is what is the secret code which Nikola Tesla was talking about. If you know the secret of 3, 6, and 9, you have the key to the universe. So 9 is the only number when you multiply by any number, the unique number that comes is always 9. 9 times 1, 9. 9 times 2, 18 is also 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 times 3, 27. 2 plus 7 is again 9. So 9 is the only number that has the ability to retain its original sequence and form. That's why number 9 is the only number that we want to be in, because we want to be in that state forever. If you go into any other numbers, you will have to come back. So that means it is the process of karmas that if you are falling into any of these 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5, then you keep repeating yourself. You keep repeating your patterns. If you fall in 3 and 6, you always toggle between 3 and 6. Either it is 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6. You're toggling there. The only unique number is 9. So let's go back to again what I was saying. There are only 33 devatas. You divide it by 11. The operation of division is with Rudra. He is the one who divided an androgynous form into 11 Rudras and 11 Rudranis. 11 forms. Androgynous is called Ardhanareshwara. Half of his body, the right side is Shiva and the left side is Uma Devi, Parvati. So 11, abstractions of Rudra, 11 abstractions of Rudrani. So 33 divided by 11 is 3. What is 3? I told you 3 will always toggle between 3 and 6. Okay. So 6 is Kartikeya, then 3 is Ganapati. So whenever we go into a Ganesh temple, you have to do 3 circumambulations, parikrama, pradakshinas, we call it, clockwise manner, to complete. And that is why there is a story. See, everything is coded in stories. There was a story. There was a fruit of wisdom. Who would win that fruit of wisdom? So there was a contest between Kartikeya and Lord Ganapati. So the contest was who is going to go around the universe 3 times. And the fastest one will be rewarded with the fruit of wisdom which was given to Narada to Shiva and Parvati. May the best person win. That was how the story and the contest begins. Kartikeya jumps on his peacock and he sprints to cover the universe to go around 3 times, while Ganapati is still slowly trying to get up to get on his little rat. By the time Kartikeya has finished 2 rounds, Ganapati has still not even gotten up and sat on his Vahana, which is Mushaka, the rat. By the time he was just about to finish the 3rd one, and he was you could see Kartikeya arriving, Ganapati quickly goes around and circumambulates his parents 3 times and declares himself victorious. But Kartikeya, when he comes, he says, what is this? What was the contest? Who's going to go around the universe 3 times? You have barely even gotten up and you have not even left Mount Kailasha. And you declare yourself victorious? Ganapati is a very witty, intelligent God. He says, my parents are my universe. So technically, by that, using that wisdom and dicta, he has won the contest. So the fruit of wisdom was given to him. and because of which Kartikeya is dejected and he leaves Mount Kailasha to move towards the south. That's why Kartikeya is the lord of the southern part of India, because that is where he made his home. He said, look, I can't be here. This is unfair. It is not in the contest sometimes. So Ganapati is number 3. Number 6 is always with Kartikeya. And who is number 9? Shiva and Parvati. Their unification. The Shiva Linga that we see is the unification is number 9, which is the completion. If you reach the state of number 9, then you'll never have to come back, because you will always resonate and keep in that space. That is why, do you see in Jyotish Shastra, number 9 is a very unique number. That's why it is called the Nama Amsha. So when you divide anything into 9 parts, it becomes very unique because it retains a lot of its essence and it cannot be decimated even if you go further down. Jyotish in Vedic astrology has such depth when you go into the nitty-gritties. So coming back, 33 devatas. Who are the 33 devatas? 12 are Adityas. And that means anything modulo 12. You multiply any number with 12, it is going to retain, it is the solar principle. It is Adityas, the light makers. 11 are the Rudras, the 11 abstractions of Rudras. 8 are called the Ashtavasus, and 2 of them are called as the Ashwini twins, the Kumaras. So they are the yin-yang concept. They represent the yin-yang, the duality, the twin. So 12, 11, 8, and 2. Who are the 8? 8 are called Ashtavasus. Vasus are called as Vasava Devatas. They are the elemental gods, which means the 5 elements, the sun, the moon, and the nakshatras. They constitute the 8 Vasus. They are the ones which are also associated with the 8 directional regions. We call them Ashtadikpalas. And that's why you see anything with number 8 is also very unique. Durga is given number 8. So she was born on the 8th lunar day, which is called as Ashtami. Kāla Bhairava. Kāla, the word Kāla stands for Bhairava, and Kāla, which means stands for the 3 again. Ka is Brahma. A is Vishnu. La or Laya or Samhara is Shiva. So Kāla is the Trinity again, and Bhairava also, his birth is on Ashtami Tithi. Who was another master who was born on Ashtami Tithi? Krishna Ashtami, which means the waning moon. It's again Lord Krishna. Shri Krishna was born on Ashtami. Can you see? There is Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya means all this universe is an illusion. Maya. This Maya is also born on, she's called as Yoga Maya, born on Ashtami Tithi. Okay, so 11 is Rudras, dissolution, division, making our life much easier by dividing and conquering. That's how we have to conquer this world. We have to dissect and take piece by piece. That is the Prarabdha. How do you go to Prarabdha with the number 11? So are we good? Are we understanding these concepts of 369 and the other numbers? And we are understanding how the lunar and the solar components are operating as, Kartikeya and Ganapati, 3 and 6. We need 3 lines to create a triangle. An upward facing triangle is Shiva. If it is colored as a blue color, then he's Shiva. Downward facing triangles are Shakti. One of the most sacred geometries that you know of, which is called as the Shri Chakra, the Shri Yantra, beautiful manifestation, with 4 triangles facing upwards, interlocking with 5 triangles facing downwards. So there are 5 elements of Shakti, 4 elements of Purusha, the masculine and the feminine. Totally, it is 9 triangles. An interleaving of these 9 triangles creates 43 more triangles. If you have to understand the 43 number, I have to take another course on that, because 43 is also a very unique number. But why the Shakti has one triangle which is inverted more than 4 triangles which is upward facing? Because it is only a woman who has the ability to carry the 5th element. The 5th element is childbirth. Creation is only there with the woman. She is the creator. She's the Jagat Janani. Every mother has been given that additional thing. Otherwise, we are all equal. So that's why she's been given an additional downward facing triangle compared to Shiva, who has 4 upward facing triangle. 4 and 5 is 9 again. So they create a complete number. Now let's go to the benedictions and let's see the beauty of this. Because in the Chamakum, in the end of the Chamakum, if you people who have heard this, you will, after asking for so many benedictions, 347 benedictions, finally the benedictions come to pure numbers. So finally the Chamakum is saying ekascha me, trayascha me, panchascha me, saptascha me, navacha me, ekadascha me, which means it's saying give me number 1, give me number 3, give me number 5, give me number 7, give me number 9, give me number 11, give me number 13, give me number 15. All odd numbers starting from 1 going up to 33 is what one form of equation is asking. Give me number 19, give me number 21, give me number 23, 25, 27, 29, 31, 33. Why they're asking for this odd number series? And then immediately with that, they follow with another series which is asking for a sequence of 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 20, 24, 28. So that sequence goes up to 48. And then it stops. So it goes from 1 to 33 and it stops. From 4 to 48, it stops. Why are we, when we are saying you ask for anything in your benedictions, you say, give me this, give me that. Give me a Ferrari, give me a bungalow or a mansion. You can ask for all of that. But why is Shri Rudram asking these numbers? 33 in one sequence, 4 to 48 in another sequence. Very important. The starting position and end position are the key. 33 I've already given you. There are 33 devatas in the Vedas. There is not even any other. The devatas that we are looking for are just a mathematical later on which have been derived from them. Right? That's also to know that the key bone structure of our backbone structure also has the key elements are 33. Yeah, there are a few other bones which are tied together, and they are, considered in medical science. They are calling it a few additional bones at the base of the spine. But your spine is also 33. And we talk about the synovial fluid, which is there in your brain, is is the same construct which is also all along your spine. And what we are trying to do is we are going to use vibrations to activate what we call as the kundalini. Kunda means the pit of fire. Kunda, in which we put the honey, no, the ghee, right? When we are doing a sacred ritual, fire ritual, we are offering either a fuel. The fuel is offered. The kundalini is the base where the fuel is offered to activate the 33 channels. Starting with 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. What is that sequence? There are only 4 types of creation which is there, which is given in our ancient scriptures. There are only 4 forms of life forms which come here. The 4 forms of life forms which are said is, one is called as Andaja. Ja, the word suffix in Sanskrit ja means born from. Andaja means anda is egg. So there are certain species which are born by breaking open an egg. Look at the beauty of life. If you break the egg from external force, the life ends. When the force is from internally breaking open, life begins. The egg is such a wonderful thing. You break the egg from inside out, life begins. You break the egg from external force, you break the egg, life is gone. Andaja, Pindaja, we are all Pindajas, mammals, born from a womb. That is why we do this Pindadana. Then there is Udbija, which means something which sprouts from a seed. Bija means seed, Udbija. Aren't we using many frequencies as seed frequencies, what we call as Bija mantras? Because those Bija mantras are sowing the seeds of your consciousness. And finally, there is called as Swetajas, which means which need a medium to survive. They're called Shweta means the sweat, salt water. Like you have the microorganisms, they need to thrive with some kind of like parasites. They have to thrive on something, and amoeba, bacteria, viruses, they all thrive and they grow and they breed in the salt water, Shwetaja. They are called the sweat, born from the sweat. There are only 4 kinds of birds: seeds, eggs, mammals, and these microorganisms. So we start with 4. We go down to 48. Why is 48 a very important number? Astrological remedies are linked to this number of 48. We have 27 nakshatras. We have 12 rashis, zodiac signs, and 9 planets. Add them. 27 plus 12 plus 9 is 48. One of the most important units of time, the Vedic unit of time, is 48 minutes, which is called as one muhurta. You've heard this word muhurta? So the unit of time is 48. We have 30 muhurtas during the day. 30 times 48 is 24 hours. Then understand even the chakras in our body. The chakras also have, if you see the yogic, there are petals of a lotus which is given for each of these chakras. 4 petals are given for your root chakra, your foundation chakra, which is called as Mooladhara chakra, which is like a square. 4 petals, 4 sides to a square. Next, you go to the Swadhisthana chakra, one above. We have been given 6 petals. You go a little up, which is Swadhisthana is the sacral chakra. Then you go a little above that. It is called the Manipura chakra. The solar plexus, we call it. That chakra has been given 10. So these 3 chakras below, if you add them, 4 plus 6 plus 10 is 20. 4 for the base chakra, root chakra, foundation chakra, 6 for the chakra above it, the sacral chakra, and then we have the one which is associated little above it, which is the Manipura chakra. Manipura means the city of jewels and gems, Manipura. That means a lot of wealth lies there. So 20. This itself is the construct in Vedic astrology to the D20 chart, which is called as Vimshamsha. It is a scan of your lower 3 chakras. It is like in the pyramid of Maslow. That is the structure which balances and the basic needs and the necessities. It's the lowest of the pyramid. Then we go to the next chakra, which is the heart chakra. We call it the anahata, the unstruck. We have 12 petals there. And then we go to the throat chakra, which is called a Vishuddhi, which means the poison has to be purified, which is sitting in your throat. That's why it's called Vish, is poison, venom. Shuddhi, which means purification, cleansing. It has 16 petals. 12 plus 16 is 28. So if you count all the petals between your Mooladhara to your throat chakra, 20 plus 28 is 48 again. Now do you see, when we do a particular remedy, Vedic remedy, we say we have to do it for 40 days to 48 days. That is called as a Bhuta Shuddhi. Bhuta means Panch Mahabhutas, the 5 great elements. Starting with the Mooladhara chakra is the earth element. Swadhisthana chakra is the Jala Tattva, which is the water element. Manipura chakra is the Agni element, which is the fire. The bodily tejas, which means the glow that you see in anybody's body, is as good as your Manipura, the city of gems and jewels which make you sparkle. Then we have air element, Vayu Tattva, the heart chakra. That's where our lungs are. That's why we breathe from there. And finally, the Akash Tattva, the etheric archives, what we call as Akashic records. They are sitting somewhere, but they are also sitting here in the throat. That is the exact position in where Shiva drank the poison and he kept his poison here. He neither ingested it, neither he brought it out. That's why it became blue. That's why he's called the blue-throated god, Nilakantha. Fascinating. That means why do we do a 48-day ritual? Because we are not only cleansing the 27 nakshatras, the 12 rashis, and the 9 planets, we are not only trying to adhere to a system which is given to us, which is a unique number of 48 minutes, which is called one muhurta. It is also about cleansing of the chakras from here below. 48 petals. So when we come to the Ajna chakra, this is the command center, the third eye, the pineal gland. It balances the 48 petals below. It has got two petals, but those two petals are not just two symbolically, but each of them hold 48 petals to manage. Why? It is managing the chakras below it by the solar and the lunar currents. That's why this is the seat of the Shiv and Parvati's union is happening. The solar and the lunar currents are forming a entwined. Have you seen a serpent which is entwined, two serpents on a piece of a thing? That is the medical symbol, isn't it? I don't know the English word, what they call that. A staff with two serpents, which are, that is exactly how the serpents are at each of these chakras, that they are entwining like this. And finally, they come here to the Sahasrara chakra, the 1,000 petals. So 48 below, 48 to the right petal of your Ajna chakra, left petal of your Ajna chakra, 48. So how many of them are there totally? 48 times 3 is 144. And if you go to one chakra above, 1,000. So 1,000 times 144 is 144,000 is the yogic secret. We are awakening 144. Imagine I want to give you a secret code. Let's start with a number for the lowest chakra. Let us say 36 to the Muladhara chakra. Okay, if I put a 0 there, it's 360 degrees. So Muladhara chakra is where your 360 degrees is. Let's multiply it by 2 when you go to the Swadhisthana chakra. It is 720. 108 when it comes to the Manipura. 144 when it comes 36 times 4 is 144. 36 times 2 is 72. 36 times 3 is 108. 36 times 4 is 144. 36 times 5 is 216. That is your throat chakra. Understand, I'm trying to give you a secret code. So when we come this route, you will understand something which is very, very significant. 72 and 144 are the two things which are held by 108. 108 is a mathematical code and the equation you know. A rosary has 108. Okay, so your Swadhisthana is 72. Your Anahata, 144. Your Manipura, your solar plexus, 108. You know what is 108? I told you it is the fire element. Agni is sitting there. Your sun, or that's why it's called the solar plexus. Solar. So your fire is sitting in your Manipura chakra, 108. Below it is number 72. It's called Swadhisthana. It is one of the concerts of Agni is called a Swadha, from which the word Swadha Sthana. Swadha Sthana is the Jala Tattva, water element. that water is an element of interactions that we do with the other world of humans, afterlife, which we call them as our ancestors, Pitris. Pitri Tarpanam, which means our connection with the afterlife is with water. That's why water has to flow when you're doing Tarpanam between your thumb and your index finger. That is how we give our oblations to our ancestors. It has to come from this part. It has to flow in the south direction. That is called a Pitri Tirtha. And Swadha is the one. Swadha Sahita Pitrubhyo Namaha. Which means Swadha is taking your waters, oblations to your Pitris. And who is sitting on top, which is Anahata, the unstruck 144 chord, is Swaha. That's why whenever we do yagna, we are saying Agnehe Swaha, Agnehe Idam Mama, Prajapatehe Swaha, Prajapate Idam Mahama, Agne Swaha, Agne Idam Mama, Suryaya Swaha, Suryaya Idam Mama, Prajapate Swaha, Prajapate Idam Mama. So that means our equations with Swaha, which means it's taking oblations to the heavens, to the Devatas. Swaha is always used in the fire to take your offerings to the heavens. Swadha, when we say we are taking the oblations to the Pitraloka. So what is that which elevates the Agni? Swaha, 144. Now let me show you the same progression that we are trying to show you from the chakras. Is, if you see here, I told you there are two sequences which are repeated in the end of Chamakum. Ekascha me, Trayascha me, Panchascha me, Saptascha me. So I'm going into this sequence. Can you see the beauty of this? Let's look at this index. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, 2 plus 3 is 5. 3 plus 4 is 7. 4 plus 5 is 9. 5 plus 6 is 11. Do you see the sequence is coming from this? This sequence, let us start extending this sequence. 1 plus 3 is 4. 3 plus 5 is 8. 5 plus 7 is 12. 7 plus 9 is 16. 9 plus 11 is 20. Can you see? Every previous equation, which is the divine, this is your backbone. That means the devatas, which are 33 devatas, are residing in your backbone. The fire, the kundalini, the serpent which rises is rising through your spine. Okay, so when you see this is our creation, that's why I said there are 4 types of creatures: Swetaja, Andaja, Pindaja, Udbija, going up to 48. 48 is what I explained to you again. So 23 plus 25 is 48. Beautiful, isn't it? So these are the 2 sequences which are said, give me 1, give me 3, give me 5, and then after 33 say give me 4, give me 8, give me 12. It is the secret code of our creation and our DNA structure. Now our DNA structure is created with this sequence again. Continue with this sequence. 4 plus 8 is 12. 8 plus 12 is 20. 12 plus 16 is 28. 16 plus 20 is 36. This is your dharma. These frequencies is what your adityas are. Something beautiful, isn't it? This is our dharma. So Surya is our dharma. sun god. That's why he exalts in Aries, the first sign. Then let me go and extend this series. 12 plus 20 is 32. That is your artha. The first artha is 32 number. 20 plus 28 is 48. 28 plus 36 is 64. So this sequence again, if I have to culminate it, 32 plus 48 is 80. 48 plus 64 is 112. 64 plus 80 is 144. So that means the highest form of karma that you can go into is the sequence of 144. That is what we derived. Swaha, swaha. We have a kamana, manokamana. Manokamana means what I want to manifest here. It's the power of manifestation, 144. The highest power of manifestation. And moksha, 80 plus 112 is 192. That means if you are coming here on this planet, you have to take at least 192 life forms in different forms. You could be udbija. Bija means seed. Trees and plants sprout from a seed. Or you could have been born as a reptile or a bird. Birds and certain reptiles come out of an egg. Or you could be born as an amoeba, a bacteria, a virus, which comes, or finally we start coming into the yonis of mammals. Even after coming into mammals, you can take various forms. You could be a horse, you could be an elephant, you could be a cat. And finally we get human birth. So it takes 192 minimum. And the equation doesn't end there. 192 is a minimum. Forms of life forms to get your moksha. But when we are asking through Shri Rudram, give me 1, give me 4, we are trying to dissolve that. We are saying in this life, please don't give me 192 lifetimes that I have to take birth again and again to get my moksha. Take me to Shivaloka immediately. So, did you understand what are we doing? We are doing the Shri Rudram, but without the focus on the chakras, we will not receive and go into the 144 band. Look at the beauty of this. I had explained to you how many petals do we have at the base of the chakra? This is your yogic chakra, 4 petals. 4, 6, 10. So this is your 20. 12, 16, 28. So totally how many? 48. And then 48, 2 petals, 48 each, 96. 48 plus 2 is 48 into plus 48 is 96. 96 plus 48 is 144. 144 into 1000 is 14,000. Now look at this magic square. You start this magic square with 44 to 52 numbers. All numbers in between 44 to 52 are arranged in this magic square. Add it horizontally, 144. Add the numbers vertically, 144. Add the numbers diagonally, any diagonally, 144. If I add all the numbers between 44 to 52, I get a very important number is 430. Don't you know that 432 is that frequency that helps you to erase the pain that is there and relief from pain, sufferings? That is the 432 solfeggio frequency. Do you know how many of you are understanding the importance of 144? There is a varga, a chart, which is called as Dwa Dashamsha. Dwa Dashamsha means D12 chart, which means each Rashi is divided into 12 parts. So how many parts do we have totally in the Dwa Dashamsha? 12 times 12, 144. Even when we celebrate the Kumbh Mela, every 6 years the Kumbh Mela is called Ardha Kumbha. Ardha means half. Halfway mark, 6 years. 12 years is called Purna Kumbha, full. Purna means full, complete. Jupiter is the main important planet because Jupiter takes 1 year per sign. So Jupiter technically has covered the entire zodiac in 12 years. So what about such 12 Purna Kumbhas? 12 times 12 is called as a Mahakumbh, 144 years, which happened in 2025 last year in January and February for 45 days when Jupiter transited, okay, into the Rashi of fixed sign, Taurus. How beautiful. That means 144 is a reset button. It is the button of the final frontier of karma before we go into the moksha path. Isn't it fascinating? 1 to the power 2, 2 to the power 2, 3 to the power 2, 4 to the power 2, 5 to the power 2. When you add all of those numbers is 144. So if you can even fathom what is happening, my pardon, 1 to the power 2 into 2 to the power 2 into 3 to the power 2 into 4 to the power 2 into 5 to the power 2. This is going to give you a number which is 14400. Okay. Now, let me now take you into the association of Kalachakra. Kalachakra, I told you, has 722 deities. 720 plus 2. You know what is 720? 720 is a number which is 36 times 5. 36 times 2 is 72. 36 times 3 is 108. 36 times 4 is 144. 36 times 5 is 180. Okay. So what am I bringing you back to in this whole equation? Is if you know what is 720, 720 is the Sashtyamsha. It is 12 times 60 is 720. There are 60 parts in each Rashi in the Sashtyamsha. There are 12 Rashis. So totally how many Sashtyamshas are there? 720 Sashtyamshas that are there. Plus 2. Why is that 2? In Kalachakra Tantra, there is Shiv and Durga, which is sitting at the center of the Bindu, which means they are all the 720 devatas are sitting surrounding, and they are sitting at the nucleus, at the center. Even if you look at Shri Yantra, at the center of the Shri Yantra is the Bindu. Bindu means the point. She's called as Lalita Devi. She's called as Tripura Sundari, Shri Vidya. So in the Buddhist text, they have given various names to this Shiv and Durga. We call it Shiv and Durga. They call it Chakra Samvara. Beautifully, they have shown Chakra Samhara with 12 arms. Who is nothing but Shiva with 12 arms. And there is Chakra Varahi. She's also called as Vishwamata in certain traditions. Vishwamata means universal mother. She's also called as Adi Parashakti. She's also called as Lalita Devi. So Chakra Samvara and Chakra Varahi. These are the goddesses. These are the two goddesses which are sitting, and 720 gods are protecting these two gods. Totally 722, which means these are the Shashti-amsha Devatas. Shashti-amsha is our Akashic record. Because of the Akashic record, I told you, 720 is 360 is your Mooladhara, 720 is your Swadhisthana. 1080 is your, if you come, is your Manipura, and 1440 is your heart chakra. 2160 is your throat chakra. So 720, which means that is the reason we are coming into this loop of karmas of getting birth, rebirth. We are cycling here. That is your Swadhisthana chakra. Do you know our creation started with Vishnu Nabhi? Vishnu Nabhi means the sacral chakra of Vishnu is through which the center of our universe, Milky Way galaxy, from where everything has emanated, which is the Moola Nakshatra. That's where the Moola Nakshatra falls. 3 degrees of Sagittarius. That is the center, galactic center. That is Vishnu Nabhi. From that Vishnu Nabhi, a lotus emanated, from which Brahma was born. That's the cosmic Brahma. That's the birth of Brahma. Brahma created everything. So we are actually a creation of Brahma. If you want to be here, we will be in that chakra. If you really want to elevate yourself, you have to go to the higher planes. As above, so below. Which means whatever universes, multiverses that you can conceptualize, that means there are 720 universes at that chakra. There are 1080 universes at your Mooladhara chakra. They are connected to that many celestial points. As above, so below. As inside, so outside. As within, so without. Everything is a construct, if you understand. So, this whole thing is, again, if you see in the Kalachakra, it is Vishnu Sahasranama. There is a mantra in which you say he's called as Samvatsara, which means a year. It's a 60-year cycle, Samvatsara. So Vishnu Nabhi, I told you, the galactic center from which Brahma has emanated. We are all a creation from that. And you can see this beautiful wheel, which is from Konark temple in Odisha. This is exactly the wheel of time. This image was used very much during the G20 summit which India hosted in a few years ago. This is a very beautiful wheel of time, and you can see the spokes. I will be teaching the method of deriving things from this chakra. Okay, you can see some very intricate carvings. See, Krishna is sitting here, and the Yoginis are sitting here. Yoginis are the ones which protect you in each of those directions. So, in the course that is going to follow in this weekend, I'm going to teach about these Yoginis. They're called by different names: Matrikas, 8 mothers, Yoginis, they are called. They are the protective goddesses, and the Kalachakra is nothing but where the light is. The speed of light, 144,000. The flower of life that you see, the construction is again the same context. There are intersections in the flower of life, 144, creating 90 beautiful flower petals. Even if you see the creation, the golden ratio, the sunflower and the full-blown sunflower, you'll see 144 seeds on one direction and 89 seeds in another direction. Everything is a code which is there. If you understand the code, you will know the secrets of this universe. So, I wanted to show you how the Kalachakra the Buddhists do. The Buddhists take days or weeks to create the Kalachakra. Here you can see Dalai Lama, who's constructing the Kalachakra, precise with calculations and everything. So every year or every couple of years, the Kalachakra is, and all the pupils are standing there and they're observing how this is being done to that precision. Because then the 722 deities, 720 plus 2, are invoked in this mandala. So elaborate calculations, precise math is used. Once this mandala is created, then he initiates many of them into the monkhood or elevates certain monks, like there are levels in which they are. And some teachings are also given when this construction is happening over a few days. And after this beautiful creation of the mandala is done, the initiations are over, the diksha is over, then they destroy that without any attachments. That is the beauty of life. You should not be attached to anything that you have created. If you are attracted and attached to that, you will be destroyed. And that is what happened to Brahma. Brahma was so enamored with his own creation that he dissolved himself into that creation of his own. Dissolved as in he disintegrated there. So one of the highest teachings of Kalachakra Tantra is to take days and huge amounts of pain with that precision to create this enormous mandala, to invoke all the deities to come and sit in different directions, those 720 deities plus the 2, which is Chakra Samhara and Chakravarahi. They come and say sitting, they worship them, they honor them, they give them offerings, initiations are done, and then it is all destroyed. So, the beauty of this is nothing but this is the wheel of time. This is the order of the Kalachakra with the planetary energies. So, this mantra is Om Mahakalaya Namaha. Om Mahakalaya Namaha. He is Mahakaleshwar. He is the ultimate one who is going to dissolve everything, which is Mahapralaya. And if you are going in the direction of the Kalachakra, it is dissolution. It is destruction, is for sure. Look at the order of the Kalachakra. You can see here, east, there is sun. This is your southeast direction, Mars. This is your south direction, Jupiter. Then this is your southwest direction, Mercury is sitting here. They are the agents of Rudra. That's why Rudra is called Ashtamurti. Because in this, if you see, in the Kalachakra, only 8 planets are involved. Ketu usually is eliminated, or Ketu is the one who gives you moksha. We talked about the final frontier to go and eliminate yourself from this chakra. That is Ketu. So generally you see this is the order. So then west in the Kalachakra, who's sitting here? Venus. Right? Next in the Kalachakra, who's sitting in the northwest? Saturn. Who's sitting in the north in the Kalachakra? Moon. They are the agents of Rudra for dissolution in that direction. We'll discuss about what, how, when, every little thing that is there in your knowledge is associated with this unit. And there are certain gatekeepers. And how the energy flows? The energy flows because of the interplay between the sun and the moon in the Kala Chakra. The Kala Chakra is a fortress made of 3 layers. Each of those layers have a body, prana, mind. So this is how the interleaving of the Kala Chakra is, where the 28 nakshatras are placed and the energy flows. Every day you need to see where the energy is, how the energy is flowing. Either the energy is flowing in or they are flowing out. So we have the 3 blocks, fortresses. The outer fortress of this, can you see these are the nakshatras, 28 nakshatras. They are arranged in a very beautiful format. The external one impacts our body. That is called as our gross body, Sthula Sharira. Then the nakshatras which are leaving the interstructure, the prana, which means the light force energy. And then we have the one which is these nakshatras, 3, 5, 10. These are nakshatras names, okay? I'll teach you how to look at where the prana is, where the mind is. So that is the interleaving, which is the mind. And these ones which are sitting inside, they are inside the fortress. Durga protects them. So there are 4 nakshatras in everybody's chart which is protected by Durga. So Deha, body, Prana, energy, how the energy is moving, and Mrityu is dead. So you can see in this chakra, Kala Chakra, the force, cosmic force enters through this channel and the release is happening this way. Imagine the good energies have to come in, the bad energies have to go out. Again, the good energies have to come in, the bad energies have to go out. Good energies have to come in, bad energies have to go out. So if you see the 4 frontiers, the main directions, east, south, west, and north, these are the ones through which energy comes in. And the diagonals are the ones through which those nakshatras is through which the energy goes out. And this is, if you study this Kalachakra and then protect yourself in those directions, you're bent to have a greater understanding, and you're in the cosmic universe where there are 14,000 light workers who are maintaining this. This universe that we have created are guarded by light workers who are protecting us, these 14,000 light workers. They are keeping the 8 billion people here alive. But we are making sure that we can destroy all of this creation of 8 billion human structure. Wars are raging. People are being butchered in the name of faith, religion, custom, creeds, trades. They're all devastating. Either you are with these 144,000 light workers to protect us and to give us a safe future, and probably a ramp for us to go through to ramp down on all of what is happening. Otherwise, we are heading in the direction of Kalachakra, which is we're spiraling. It is like Chakra Vyuha of Mahabharata. Chakra Vyuha, which means it's a battle formation where Abhimanyu went in and in and in and in. He didn't know how to come out. We are spiraling into this Kalachakra and going deeper and deeper and deeper. I hope humanity will find a ramp to come out of this Chakra Vyuha rather than spiraling into this Kalachakra of destruction and dissolution. Only those few that I said, 144,000 people, they might be not in their physical forms. They are called as bodhisattvas. We all aspire to be bodhisattvas. Everybody wants to be a light worker. How many of them? So we have had many masters, messiahs, prophets who have come, grace this world to bring the word love. But if we have forgotten that and we are spiraling into the Kala Chakra. So you're all welcome to come and participate in this wonderful session that I'm going to have this weekend.